What's up, Nashville? Just wanted to come on here and show a little bit more of the day in the life of what a typical, well, I don't know, maybe typical or atypical Nashville musician does on a daily basis. From one day to the next, it's always so different. Like yesterday, I was writing songs with a buddy of mine who's been getting a lot of sync placements on television shows like Yellowstone and Landman and things like that. And so it was a little outside of what I normally do, writing with country artists that are trying to get record deals and writing with other co-writers that are, we're trying to get songs cut and stuff like that in the country genre. But this was really fun yesterday because we were writing something, more kind of cinematic, I guess, trying to get things that would, that could work in a TV show, and not being right on the nose with anything, just trying to find ideas to write about that are just kind of create a vibe and emotion, that could be a backdrop for, one of these TV shows. So I had a lot of fun, and I think we got a really cool song yesterday. So I was excited about that. And today, I'm back in the studio again, and last night I was working on doing some more overdubs, guitar overdubs on another session, on another song, another artist that I'm producing named Katie Matthews. Shout out Katie Matthews, great new artist here in Nashville. Keep an eye out for her because I think we got some really great stuff. We cut the tracks at the studio we cut at County Q. Shout out Paul at County Q and all the great players we had playing on there. Just did a fantastic job, as they always do, and it just makes my job so much easier because they always come up with great parts and collaborating together. It's so much fun tracking with real players because we're just bouncing ideas off of each other and and throwing things back and forth, and it's great because sometimes they come up with stuff like, whoa, I never thought about that, but that's cool, and that'll work really great. So we got some, I wanted to kind of share with you what I'm working on, the song, the tracks that I did last night, and kind of isolate them a little bit so you can kind of hear how these things sound by themselves and also how they sound in the track. Of course, this is not mixed yet. It's far from being done. I still haven't even put the guitar solo on there yet, but I've got, I don't know, like 6 or 7 guitar parts on here right now, and they all kind of blend together really nicely. And I think it's really important to look at stuff like this because we get, as guitar players, if it were up to me, I'd just go and buy, a bunch of Strats or Les Pauls or whatever and just call it a day. But as a working musician, I find that you have to have other voices, because if everything I did was just a Strat or a Tele or a Les Paul or something like that, you really have to rely on just your effects, but you can also rely on different kinds of guitars too. And on here, this is mostly just kind of different textures and sounds and that I'm playing with to try and kind of create a different thing. Now also, I've been playing sessions for a long time, and I know that sometimes I get tired of the stuff that I'm playing. If I'm playing the same guitar and the same effects pedals all the time, I get tired of that. So I'm constantly trying to challenge myself to not sound like me, to try and sound like, okay, what would somebody else play here? I'm trying to think outside of the box because, we could very easily get pigeonholed and have, everything that we play sound the same. And I think that most producers are going to want different textures and stuff like that on their songs, as do I. So let's take a look at this song I've got up here. I've got the Pro Tools session on here, and I'm going to play just a little bit of this track so you can kind of hear what it sounds like in full already. I've got the guitars kind of up in the mix a little bit. This is the intro of the song. And so when the verse comes in, of course, we're dialing everything back. I've only got one of these guitars that's actually playing. And then we kind of gradually start bringing in some more of these other tracks you can hear. The band comes in. Okay, so that's what everything sounds like all together. Let's kind of dissect this a little bit and see what this sounds like. Here's the first initial track that I went down with. And I had a really interesting patch on the Eventide H9. It's kind of like a reverb with some, I think it was crystals or whatever they call it, the real high-endy thing. You can hear it here. That's got the signature, playing the signature lick. But you can hear going on there those little high octave things that are going on, which is really cool. And it's all set in time, so it's going along with the tempo. Here's the second track that I did with a tremolo. Again, it's real simplified, because this track I just wanted some big chords with a tremolo on there that kind of gives it a little bit of movement. Now check out both of these parts together. I'll put the bass in too. And again, it just dips down with, there's where the verse starts. And it's just this one guitar. And you can hear those high little crystals, you know, and the notes hang out, they kind of drifting off, but again, in time. So when you set your tempo to the tempo of the song, it also plays it in time. Now, the next track I did was so one of the overdub tracks I did last night. And I did both of these and panned them off hard left and right, but it's just more of like a muted eighth note thing to give it a little bit of movement. Okay, so let's add in both those other tracks again. And you can hear. Okay, so you can hear that it just gives it a little bit more drive. It's kind of driving the song a little bit more now, right before that the melody comes in. And then here's the next tracks that I did, and I did these hard left and right. Now here is, I'm going to play them one at a time for you because they're different parts, but I harmonized this little rhythm part. It's like a little percussive rhythm thing that is panned hard left. So that's one part, and that's panned hard left. And I've got a little bit of delay on there, kind of like almost like a, you know, very similar to, you know, textures, how like the Edge from U2 would play. And here is the other part that is the harmony part of that. Okay, and now let me show you both of these parts together. Just soloed up the two tracks, the harmony parts. It's more of a percussive, you know, and they both have a little bit of delay on them. Again, the delay is set to the tempo of the song so that it all kind of flows with everything. Check this out. There's kind of delay off there in a little bit. So let me play now everything again so you can kind of hear how it all blends together. You can hear the really the bouzouki part. Pat McGrath, shout out Pat McGrath, played acoustic and bouzouki on here. he is so great at layering his parts as well. Brings everything back again. You can hear it again with everything together. Anyway, I hope that helps to just give you some ideas. Maybe, when you're tracking something for a client, for yourself, always be thinking about how can I make different textures. Thank you again. Peace out.